Mitch seems to want to do this reoccurring theme every week, which is like this week in reboot news or this week's reboot. Because it seems every week we get to this discussion of like there's always news of some movie from the 80s or 90s being rebooted. Mitch, what was it this week?
This week in reboot news.
And that's our theme song.
This week it was announced that, speculated and announced that Ronda Rousey will star in the Roadhouse remake, or reimagining, as they put it. The reimagining of the cult classic 80s punch 'em up Roadhouse, starring Patrick Swayze, Kelly Lynch, Ben Gazzara, Sam Elliott, and some other people.
So a little background: Ronda Rousey is the female MMA star who's just been taking the sport by storm this year because she's incredible and she's the most dominant athlete in her game right now. And there's been this like talk of her taking the jump to film because there was this talk that she's going to star in her own biopic and all this shit.
We talked about that.
And we talked about that. and now now it's like, okay, her first film is going to be Roadhouse. When they're calling, I see it all over the internet, reboot. And I have a gripe to pick with just the internet and Hollywood and its vernacular. It's like they decided like in the early 2000s that they could start calling remakes reboots like they're not the same thing. This is a remake. This is not a reboot. Roadhouse is not a franchise. Yeah. There's not fan fiction about this. There's not a whole book series about this and multi-video games.
There is a Roadhouse 2, okay?
Okay, I get it, but this is not a reboot. This is just a remake, right? The Force Awakens is a sequel. It's not a reboot. It's not a remake. It's a sequel.
Agreed.
Like the Vanity Fair right there says reboot on it. It's bullshit. It is a sequel.
Yeah.
Okay? Mission Impossible this year. Mission Impossible 5 was a sequel. Mm-hmm. A reboot would be Ghostbusters. That's a reboot.
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four is a reboot. Yes, because it's a franchise that they're completely restarting.
Yes.
Ronda Rousey will be starting in the remake of Roadhouse, which, as we know, and we'll discuss later, people love remakes and reboots, and they love franchises that they're familiar with and movies that they're familiar with. Mm-hmm. Which begs the question, why are they doing this? I mean, come on. Most people are probably our age that are fans of Ronda Rousey. The most they know about Roadhouse is a Family Guy joke.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, I would say so.
Colin?
I don't even know that joke.
Here's your burger, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, I need another $1.25.
Is that right? Keep the change. Roadhouse.
I mean, how familiar are you with Roadhouse?
None. I just looked it up.
So why is this happening?
There is like a resurgence.
Where is the market for this?
There's a resurgence in Roadhouse cult fandom recently, I've noticed, just the past 2 or 3 years, and I think it has a lot to do with that Family Guy episode. Actually,
probably. I get what you're saying, but earlier, before the show started, you were talking about how the fun of Roadhouse is that it's really not a good movie, right? Yeah. It's like Bloodsport. It's
it's not good.
It's cheesy, punch 'em up fun.
Yeah, ridiculous lines of dialogue and just weird acting and direction choices.
But what makes it more fun is they didn't go into it thinking that it was going to be that, right? They wanted to make a genuinely good movie. Mm-hmm. And that's why we love it, because they tried, and it's just nonsense, almost.
It's weird.
And it's weird. Yeah. And I just don't understand how they're going to, this is, rebooting or remaking or whatever you want to call it, a female Ghostbusters makes sense to me. There's a market there. It's a franchise that people love. Ronda Rousey, I don't know why this is happening, but whatever.
I don't know why they're not just trying to put her in her own thing. Go do something original with her as the main character and try and build a franchise off of that.
Well, if she can even act. I mean, I think she should do a little WWE stuff before
she's in Furious 7, isn't she?
I don't know. I mean, I think she had a little bit in it, but
so
whatever. So that's this week in reboot news. Any chance this is going to be good?
The reimagining of Roadhouse? I don't think it will never compare to the original. So depending on what they do with it,
or a bad thing?
Depending on what they do with it, what they make it, if they try to make it like Roadhouse, then it's gonna fail. If they try to make it their own thing, then it could just succeed as a stupid bar punch 'em up throwback.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have no idea what this movie is really about. The description on IMDb is a tough bouncer is hired to tame a dirty bar.
He's not only tough, he's a philosophy major.
Oh, perfect. I'm into this. I'm
Dalton.
into this remake.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
That's Dalton. You don't want to know what happened in Kansas City.
Whatever.